Now on 4, time to place bets for today's stakes at Doncaster. Join John Francome and Channel 4 Racing.
Hello, all eyes will be focused firmly on Celtic Swing here at Doncaster this afternoon. Peter Saville's colt, who was so exciting when he broke the course record at Ascot last time, is at the moment sharing joint favouritism for next year's Derby, along with the French horse Pennycamp. But if he wins well later on, well, could easily tip the scales in his favour. This Racing Post Trophy is the final Group 1 race of the season, and it's been won by some decent horses in the past. Reference Point Armature and, of course, last year's winner, King's Theatre. They've all stood the test of time. But Celtic Swing, well, he's going to have plenty of opposition this afternoon. Indian Light is a non-runner, still leaves 7 decent opponents, including Anis Mirabilis, who's been substituted for a late entry fee, £15,000 the main to Frankie Dettori, and, of course, Don Corleone, who was such a good winner at Newmarket last time out. Secker Vale, he's had 1 run and 1 win. He looked as though he's a big price. But, Mac, is there plenty of money still for this favourite Celtic Swing?
Well, certainly not in the betting shop's greatest jockey. On the tissue, it's put in 6-4 on Celtic Swing. Very little money around the country for it. Will the punters come out of the ground in the soft ground? That's the worry for backers of the odds on Celtic Swing. They're looking for the each-way horse, and you mentioned Secker Vale. Certainly they've taken the 50-1 double carpet, 33-1 each-way Secker Vale. And remember the colossal results we've been having in Group 1 races only recently. In the 410, they go 2-1 Painted Madam and 3-1 Overbrook. That's on the tissue. Very little business in the 440. But news on the Tote Jackpot, which is on the move. In the pool, there's £427,000 and £35 and 8 pence. In the Tote Jackpot, that's on the move. A lot depends on what happens to Celtic Swing. But will the horse be the 4th odds-on winner of the Racing Post, or will it be the 3rd odds-on loser?
Well, not too easy to pick the winner of our first race this afternoon because there was no shortage of runners. 21 went to post. There was 1 non-runner, that was horse number 4, Innovar. The race was over 1.25 miles for 3-year-olds and upwards, and we had 1 jockey change. Horse number 3, Antarctic Turn, being ridden by Gary Carter, not Billy Nunes as shown in your papers this morning. But horse number 7, Top Shield, started favourite, trained by Carl Burke at Wantage and in to be claimed for £10,000. So before we see whether he justified his favouritism and whether he'd be worth a bid at £10,000, let's have a full betting show with JT.
Thank you, Leslie. And Top Shield, the 3-1 favourite. Bescoby Boy at 13-2. And Sunday News and Echo 7-1. My Time an 8-1 chance. Kaloo was at 10-1 and 12-1 Barbados.
And they come down to the 3 furlong marker in the white visors. It's Melody Dance that goes into the lead. But look at this Greek gold and red and yellow is pulling double up on the outside. My Time starts to run. Wide of these in the orange cap, Bescoby Boy starts to go forward. And they come down to the 2 furlong marker. And it's Greek gold in the lead. In the red and yellow, orange colours on the outside. Bescoby Boy is putting his best work forward now. Then Kaloo isn't that far off the pace either. It's over a furlong to go. And it's Bescoby Boy under Kevin Darley going into the lead by a neck by a half. Kaloo's back in second place. Greek Gold's run has come to an abrupt halt. They're inside the final furlong. And it's Bescoby Boy having his second run of the week, striding on in great style. And the old boy's going to take it all right. Coming up towards the line, Bescoby Boy takes it. Bescoby Boy is our winner. Kaloo is second. It's going to be close for third. The Sunday News and Echo takes third. Greek Gold holds on to 4.
First number 9, Bescoby Boy, 13-2. Second number 18, Kaloo at 10-1. And third, number 14, Sunday News and Echo at 7-1. Number 7, Top Shield, the 3-1 favourite, non-runner 4, 21 round.
So, good start to the afternoon, that for Kevin Darley. Of course, is in the hot seat later on Celtic Swing. And the horse that finished 4th there, Greek Gold, well, he was claimed by Jack Ramsden for £6,000. Second race on the card this afternoon, well, quite a quality field there for the Racing Post Condition Stakes. There's over 7 furlongs, 2 or 3 of these horses out to redeem their reputations. And, well, Mary Hinge, she was having her first run since June. There are actually 4 joint favourites. Before we see how they got on, let's have a look at the betting.
Tasha 5-1, along with Storis and Monton. Beggarman Thief 11-2 with Mary Hinge. Mandarin 6-1, Karanita 8-1, Crack Your Farm and I'm Your Lady 25-1.
And they come down to the halfway stage. Crack Your Farm runs the rail on the outside. I'm Your Lady. White Jacket, Beggarman Thief off a slow start now gets through into third. Storis covered up. Karanita in black and yellow covered up. Tasha's on the wide outside of the pack. Montendre. Mary Hinge looking for a gap. They've got just over 2 furlongs to go. And Beggarman Thief, full of running, comes to share the lead with Tasha in blue. Further right in red and white is Mallory. Mary Hinge runs the rail. Orange colour is Stolis for the run. They've got just over a furlong to go. It's Beggarman Thief, pressed by Tasha on the outside. They come down to the furlong marker now. And it's Tasha and Beggarman Thief, 2 back to Storis, back in third and 1 pace. And it's Tasha opening up now by 3 lengths as he races up towards the line. Tasha striding right away with this, and Tasha's going to take it at the line. Willie Carlson, Tasha the winner.
6 Tasha, 5-1 co-favourite, 3 Beggarman Thief, 11-2, and 2 Storis, 5-1 co-favourite. The other co-favourite is number 4 Montendre and 9 runs.
In the 240 race only had to negotiate the minimum trip, and 10 of them went to post, chasing £11,000 in added prize money. That's in the Doncaster Racecourse Exhibition Centre rated stakes. And it was last year's winner, the mare Inherent Magic, who started favourite, trained by Matty McCormack at Wantage. And before we see how he fared and the last 3 furlongs of the race, see the betting with John Tyrrel.
Inherent Magic 4-1, Ashtina 5-1, Royal Figurine 11-2, Alziana 8-1 along with Gorinsky and 10-1 Bar.
And they've flashed past the 3 furlong marker on the right. Another episode together with Lord High Admiral. They're sharing a place and showing 2 clear of Gorinsky, with Peter Freak being ridden along. Inherent Magic behind these. Then comes Ashtina. From the back, Royal Figurine starts to pick up Takadu with a run too, just over a furlong to go. And running the rail, the blue cap, Lord High Admiral, takes a length out of the pack with another episode. Gorinsky's finishing, so too is Ashtina and Inherent Magic, as they're inside the final furlong. And it's Lord High Admiral that still has the edge. Inherent Magic and Gorinsky flying fast. Also with a run, Saint Express, up towards the line. Lord High Admiral, Inherent Magic on the line. From in second place, Lord High Admiral, then came Gorinsky in third.
7 Inherent Magic, 4-1 favourite, 5 Lord High Admiral, 12-1, and 1 Gorinsky at 8-1, 10 rounds.
So that's the form so far. Let's have a look, see what's coming up. First race, the 310 Levyboard Nursery Handicap in just a few moments. Runners already down at the post. Then it's the Racing Post Trophy. At 4:15, the Doncaster Stakes over 6 furlongs, and in the 4:45, the Ladbroke Handicap Stakes. That's a 1.5 mile contest. And the go-in at the moment is still down as good to soft on the board. I spoke to some of the jockeys after the first 2 races, and they agreed that it was now soft. Even 1 or 2 said it might be just on the heavy side. Well, a few non-runners. John Hills has got 2 non-runners. There's in this 310 coming up. Emirates Express doesn't go. Indian Light taken out by John Dunlop in the Racing Post Trophy. And La Riveraine is a non-runner also in the 4:45. But let's get on to our first live one. Let's get the list of the runners and riders from Graham.
And the top weight been running well in maidens. Gulf Shardy 14-1 from 12 stall. From 15, Time of Trouble is the 5-1 favourite. Frankie Dettori. Emirates Express doesn't run. From 6, Poignard is a 7-1 chance of Willie Carson. From 1, Good Riddance is ridden by Dean McEwen at 9-1. Spirituel is ridden by Brent Thompson. He's looking for a double, 16-1 from stall 17. From 13, Donna Viola moved well to post 7-1 Wendell Woods. From 3, Kim Osabo, 10-1 David Harrison. From 8, Orchid Armour, 20-1 with Paul Edery. From 10, Fame Again, 10-1 shot with John Carroll on a bit of a losing run. Then Charlton Herrings, ridden by Jimmy Fortune, 9-1 if they win, and you back it now. From 11, Wicken Wonder slid down the weights, 12-1 with Gary Carter. From 5, Deceit the Second, 25-1 Nick Adams. From 16, Qualitaire Pride, 20-1 Neil Kennedy. From 4, Saint Amigo, 14-1 with Joe Fanning. Blaze of Songs, ridden by young Danny Wright. They're a 9-1 chance. Danny claims a 5. Samana K, 33-1, ridden by Jason Tate. Claims a £3 allowance, but puts up all but a stone of overweight from what its original handicap mark, Samana K.
Well, with a change in the go-in, there's no doubt that the eye catchers, and certainly the information coming from Graham on the way to post, is more important than anything. And Donna Viola caught his eye. Poignard didn't. In the paddock, it was Poignard caught the eye. A little bit of controversy there, and well, Poignard down in the betting ring as well, timed the treble, nobody wanted her. But for people who've been looking at them in the paddock beforehand and running through the form book backwards and forwards, Jim McGrath and John Oaksey.
And Jim points out to me that Poignard is noted in time form as a poor mover, so don't worry necessarily that he did not catch, or rather negatively caught, Graham's eye on the way down. But there's the favourite when we last saw, Time of Trouble. She's run, this is her 9th race of the season. She's a really good, tough, consistent filly by warning. She's won only once, but her last run was as good as anything she's done, probably. 3rd to Ward Dara in a race very similar to this at Newmarket. But there are 1 or 2 who've got the best of the weights with her, notably Good Riddance, who I made my charity bet this morning, because she meets Time of Trouble on £12 better terms for a neck.
Yeah, Good Riddance is certainly a possibility here, John, because he's shown an ability to act on the soft. That would put me off Time of Trouble, because as yet she hasn't. Sometimes you simply don't know till they've run on it, but she copes so well with the fast ground, you'd have your doubts. It's a good open race. You give chances to Kemosabe. Fame again if she behaves in the stalls, which she didn't last time. Certainly Poignard, who goes very well on the soft. And perhaps the horse who could go well at a sporting outside chance, Qualitaire Pride. I know Alan Amy's Northern Shrewdy from Raceform are very keen on that one. 11-2 Time of Trouble, 6-1 Donna Viola, 7-1 Poignard, 9-1 Bar. Here's a Gigi.
Spiritual nearest to us in what's described as a pink jacket, looks white in this light, and they're through the first furlong in this levy board nursery, and the early pace being set by Qualitaire Pride with the black steeds. Looks fairly steady on. Spiritual running the raid, and Time of Trouble up on the outside. Gulf Shardy with them. They're going about 44 miles an hour. That's difficult to believe. We are just pulling slightly ahead of them. Looks a steady pace. They come down through the first quarter mile, and it's Qualitaire Pride with, on the outside, Blazer's Song, and then Gulf Shardy. Then a length behind these comes Orchid Armour, off the pace Spiritual, and then comes Time of Trouble. Then off the pace is Deceit the second, followed by Fame again. And on the outside of the pack is Good Riddance, and they've through the first 3.5 furlongs, and it's Qualitaire Pride in the lead from Gulf Shardy in the stripes, and then just off the pace Blazer's Song in the chevrons. At the back of the pack, Good Riddance has been pulled up. They've got just over 2 to go, and it's Qualitaire Pride in the lead by about a neck. Gulf Shardy representing top-class maiden form. They come down past the 2, and it's Qualitaire Pride, Gulf Shardy. Fame again's nosing through next to the rails on the outside. Saint Amigos with a bit of a dash. Blazer's Song being pushed along, but it's Fame again that strikes the front as they come down to the final furlong with the noseband. It's Fame again and Kemo Sabo. So Ramsden 1-2 on the cards here, clear from Qualitaire Pride as he races up towards the line. And it's Fame again running the rail by a length and a half to Kemo Sabo at the line. Fame again is the winner from Kemo Sabo in second, with Poignard staying on well for third. He's just ahead of Qualitaire Pride in 4, and after these came Blazer's Song. Behind Blazer's Song is Gulf Shardy, and behind Gulf Shardy we can wonder, a big gap to Spiritual, and behind Spiritual is Samana Kay and Orchid Arm, one of the back markers. Donna Viola was also well in arrears, and so the result then of this, the levy board nursery, it's a win for number 10, Fame again, in the colours of Linda Ramsden. This one ridden by John Carroll, who has ended a bit of a long losing run. His 80th winner of the season is John, and the other horse finishing second here, Kemo Sabo, also trained by Linda Ramsden. This one in the colours of the Paul Lock is ridden by David Harrison. So well done, the Ramsden team, 1-2 in this levy board nursery, ahead of Poignard, the Willie Carson ridden horse, who stayed on well for third. The winner then is Fame again. Confirmation of the third there in the red jacket, Poignard just nosing into third place ahead of Qualitaire Pride nearest to us, who's run quite a good race.
Yes, Qualitaire Pride has indeed run a good race, made the running for a very long way, and only got tired towards the end, but in the end the Ramsden pair absolutely dominated the race. Fame again has caught quite a few eyes in a race at York in which she ran pretty well, but last time out. But you'll see how John Carroll, how smoothly John Carroll brings her through. Fame again there with the white noseband, as Qualitaire Flyer leads from the top weight Shardy.
Fame Again's a really super little filly. She did run very well last time, much better than her position suggests, but there was nothing untoward about her performance that day. She missed the break badly, having got upset in the stalls, and it was simply pointless giving her a hard time because she couldn't get into the race. She was eased off when beaten. Following her through, stable companion Chemo Sabo, eagle-eyed Channel 4 viewers will remember this one coping really well with testing conditions and air, and both the Ramsden team has shown an ability to act in the soft. As John, just to confirm what he said about Qualitaire Pride, she ran a really brave race. She cost only £1,000, so she has certainly shown enough to suggest she should win at some stage. And Poignard, well, he ran a reasonable race. He just wasn't quite good enough. The first two pulled well clear. And Fame Again, who's from a good soft ground family, was a November handicap winner in her pedigree, really puts her head down and runs on with plenty of zeal.
Fame Again, a 12-to-1 chance in the offices this morning. Opened 8 and 10-to-1 on the course return at 12-to-1 Fame Again, and was actually the outsider of the two runners for Linda Ramsden. Chemo Sabo, the runner-up, sent off at 10-to-1. The third, the well-backed Poignard, a 7-to-1 chance for Carson, with Qualitaire Pride fourth. That was at 20-to-1. They sent the uneasy favourite, Time of Trouble, off, the 6-to-1 favourite. For 12-to-1, Fame Again. Those of you who believe in coupling will be pleased to have it here, but you had the choice. You get 12-to-1 Fame Again, or in the offices, 12-to-1 Chemo Sabo, though he's returned at 10s.
First number 10, Fame Again at 12-to-1. Second number 8, Chemo Sabo, 10-to-1. Third number 4, Poignard at 7-to-1. And the fourth horse, number 14, Qualitaire Pride, 20-to-1. Number 2, Time of Trouble, was 6-to-1 favourite. Non-runner 3 and 16 ran. At a Newbury, the 120 was won by number 8, Second Chance, at 25-to-1. Second number 4, Sherman, 9-to-2. And third number 10, Magic Junction, the 4-to-1 favourite, 10 ran. The 150, first number 6, Circa, 33-to-1. Second number 1, Huea, 11-to-4 favourite. And third number 7, Dashing Water, 13-to-2. Non-runners, numbers 4 and 8, 9 ran. And the 220, the St Simon Stakes, won by number 5, Persian Brave, at 7-to-1. Second number 10, Strategic Choice, 7-to-2. And third number 3, Duke of EUROLINK, at 16-to-1. Number 9, Sadler's Image, the 11-to-4 favourite. Non-runner 7, 9 ran. And the 3 o'clock went to number 9, Major Bugler, 20-to-1. Second number 4, Warm Spell, 11-to-4 favourite. And third number 11, Shadow Leader, 10-to-1. Non-runner 8, 15 ran. Worcester, the 205, 3 Society Guest, 11-to-2. 1 Glemo, 11-to-8 favourite. And 6 Cillian at 12-to-1. Non-runner 4, 6 ran. The 235 went to number 15, Striker Pose, at 14-to-1. Second number 11, Solo Charter, 6-to-1. And third number 7, Ijav, 7-to-2 joint favourite. The other joint favourite was number 5, Well Appointed. Non-runner 10, 14 ran. Huntingdon, the 145. First number 5, Jura, 11-to-4 favourite. Second number 2, Ediripus, 6-to-1. And third number 7, Desert Challenger, 25-to-1. Non-runners here, numbers 8 and 11, 11 ran. And the 215, first number 4, Simwell, 12-to-1. Second number 2, Mobile Messenger, 11-to-2. And third number 1, Fiddler's Glen, at 6-to-1. Number 3, Princess Salerno, was the 5-to-4 on favourite, 7 ran. The 245, 6, Barford Lad, 9-to-4 favourite. 5, Forgetful, 5-to-2. 3, Big Wheel Bill, 6-to-1. Non-runner 1, 8 ran.
Very early show going up. Sabi Brothers going up here, but this win only in the race they're doing, and they're betting, and they haven't put up Celtic Swing. They're taking no chance. What price have you laid? He laid 5-to-4 on to how much? £200, 5-to-4 on. The very first bet laid on the course, 200 quid, 5-to-4 on. That was Celtic Swing. They then go 4-to-1 Annus Mirabilis, 6-to-1 Don Chiolione, 11-to-2 Joyous, 14 for Hal, double carpet, 33-to-1 Fill the Bill and Second Vale, and 100-to-1 Euro Imperial for the very first bet. You saw it here on 4, 200 quid, 5-to-4 on. Is that a benchmark? Will other bookmakers go 5-to-4 on? We'll soon find out. Watch us on 4.
So a really happy moment there for Jack and Linda Ramsden, first two home there, but a sad moment certainly for Jack Hansen, who trained Good Riddance, who collapsed, had a heart attack and collapsed after he'd gone just a couple of furlongs. Of course, they've got Secker Vale, who runs in the next race. Right, let's talk of happier things now, because we've got a really unusual and certainly a prize worth winning for the picture puzzle competition this afternoon. Do you fancy owning a racehorse of your own? Well, it's only going to be for a day, and it's going to be here in 2 weeks' time. And all you've got to do is look at the picture puzzle competition, guess the name of a horse that was actually declared to run somewhere this afternoon, and in 2 weeks' time here at Doncaster, you could be the proud owner of your own racehorse running in your own colours for just a day.
A few weeks ago we showed you a filly called Epigris, trained by Henry Cecil, absolutely slooshing up in a Newmarket maiden, giving Henry Cecil a lot to look forward to for the winter. Well, Henry showed yesterday here at Doncaster that he's got more than one string to his bow, in the shape of a 2-year-old filly called Moonshell. With half a mile in the mile race to run, Moonshell in Sheikh Mohammed's first colours was sitting in 3rd place behind Waluski in Sheikh Mohammed's second colours and Bonitoile. She'd started favourite for the race, but Willie Ryan was quite happy to bide his time, sit in behind the horses and wait for the gap to come. And when the split does appear, this daughter of Sadler's Wells out of Moon Cactus, who won the Lupe Stakes and was second in the French Oaks, certainly knew her job and quickened very nicely indeed. She's there following through Finnis with Willie Carson, and there she goes. And daylight was certainly shown pretty quickly. All Finnis could do was follow the filly home. She lengthened, most beautiful action, lovely filly, as I said, knew her job. A lot of Henry's horses this year have maybe needed their first run, not so, and she's now anti-post joint favourite for the Oaks and the 1,000 guineas.
Worcester, the 305, first number 14, Bay Mischief, 92 favourite, second number 18, GLEN Fin Princess at 14 to 1, and third number 15, Four Hearts, 25 to 1, non-runner 7, 17 run. And the tape returns on the 3:10 race at Doncaster, number 10, Fame Again, paid £21.60 for the win. The places 470, 340, 180 and 1040. The dual forecast came to 76.70. The computer straight forecast paid £118.38, and the tri-cast £835 7 pence. Non-runner 3, 16 rounds.
Well, ladies and gentlemen, following the Racing Post Condition Stakes, we now have 2 special presentations here in the winner's enclosure. And they are to the winner and the runner-up in the Tote Racing Post 10 to Follow competition on the flat this year. And the competition was decided last Saturday in the Champion Stakes, and it was a very close finish. And the runner-up was Eric Ball from Ormskirk, whose consolation prize, some consolation, is £31,325. And a cheque for this amount is being presented to Eric by one of the world's top snooker players and keen racegoer, John Parrott. Well done, Eric. Many congratulations. And the winner of the competition is a young man who works for Tattersalls, the bloodstock auctioneers in Newmarket. He's David Watt, who just held on to win the competition, accumulating 473 points, and his reward is £124,980, presented by John Parrott. Well done, David. Many congratulations.
Well, major payday, David. Very well done. But it got a little bit tense in the final couple of races.
Yeah, I wouldn't want to go through last Saturday, Ken, that's for absolutely sure.
What were the actual situation? Because which horses in the Champion Stakes needed to win to put you out of the winner's prize?
Typically, it was Willie Jarvis's Grand Lodge that could have really upset me, but and also Moutron. But I think the bigger danger was Grand Lodge, and certainly in the race itself, Grand Lodge was.
So what did you do to get around that situation?
Well, we just had to hope and pray. We had to sit and pray, and as they passed where I was standing on Saturday on the rails, they were. I mean, Grand Lodge was 2.5 clear, and I thought.
Did you back Grand Lodge anyway?
Yeah, we had a small bet on Grand Lodge. Small bet, just to cover ourselves.
And tell us, which horses did you pick out? I mean, it's a thing that's been going all through the flat season.
I think that the 2 that certainly won it, or the 3 that certainly won it, would be Balanchine for the Oaks, which she was fantastic. East the Moon, who obviously won the French 1000 and the French Oaks. But the horse that really came through and won it was Vintage Crop. where the Irish Track Club kindly put on a race for me so he could get me 10 points. Well, I won by 5 points. So that's fantastic.
And you work at Tattersalls. Were all these horses sold? Did you have some connection there? I mean, how did you go about picking them out?
I don't think one of the horses in my 10th follow was actually sold by us. I should have.
That's a bad thing to say.
The only horse that I should have put in, who I mean, I would have been cleaned up long ago, was Owington, who was of course sold by us. Just failed to put it in. Locksong was my alternative, and she did it right.
That you've made your result. Very well done.
Thanks very much, John.
Okay.
Meanwhile, an SP from Huntingdon, the 315, won by number 5, Real Progress, 9-4 favourite. Second, number 1, Ch4, 10-1. And third, number 6, LAPIAFFE, 100-30, and age run.
Well, in that racing post 10 to follow competition, the celebrity section, so-called, well, I was in it. It was won by Vincent O'Brien, a real celebrity, a man, of course, who knows more about racing than anybody. And the only people I finished above were Lisa Goddard and Joanna Lumley. And I was reckoning any competition that I can get on top of Lisa Goddard and Joanna Lumley, it can't be too bad, but it shows what I'm like as a racing tipster. But what would you do in the betting ring here with this Celtic Swing, who's now tips on? 11-10 on, don't wave please. Walter and Williams, Watson brothers, 11-10 on, with 11-2 against Don Corleone and 9-2 Anna Mirabilis. The bookmakers clearly are trying to get the punters to back Celtic Swing. They won't do it now. I'm waiting for an evens to be called, but it's tips on, 11-10 on. Will it go evens, Celtic Swing, with all the hype surrounding him?
Good-looking guy in the glasses standing there behind him. And Vincent O'Brien, who won the celebrity part of that 10 to follow, well, he owns a horse that beat the horse Phil the Bill, who runs in the Racing Post Trophy. That's the Irish horse. Don't know too much about the form of that one, but one of the jockeys who's riding in the next race, Willie Carson, well, he does know the form of 2 or 3 of these.
Yes, well, Fahal is David Morley's horse. I've ridden him. He's a horse that will appreciate this soft ground, and he's a stamina horse. He'll get every inch of the trip. I believe they're going to use him a bit more today. My horse was coming off a bit of a layoff when he ran at Ascot last time. I'm expecting him to improve. So I hope I'll still beat my stable companion Fahal. And of course the good horse, I rode against him at Ascot as well, beating about 10 lengths. Possibly my filly had gone over the top, but the horse did beat us very well. It'll take a top-class horse to win on, beat the track record that day, so the ground must have been pretty fast, and the ground is very slow today, so he's going to have 2 extremes of going. It's going to be a very good horse if he can do it.
So, plenty of questions to be answered in this Racing Post Trophy. Let's get a list of runners and riders from Graham.
And supplemented for £15,000, Anna Mirabilis at 9-2, ridden by Frankie Dettori. Celtic Swing, we're trading at evens with Kevin Darley's mount. Don Corleone at 6-1. Good each way chances for David Harrison at 100-1. You Are Imperial, Brett Doyle rides that. Fahal, ridden by Richard Hills, is 14-1. Will be distinguishing cap. That has yet to be announced. Phil the Bill is 50-1. Niall McCullough on the Irish runner. Indian Light doesn't take part. Joyous does 5-1 with Willie Carson. And Secker Vale in the colours of Jack Hansen is a 33-1 chance. And Mark Birch partners that one. The 8-1 lineup then for the Racing Post Trophy.
There we are. What a question mark. Hangs over this almost black coat of Peter Savills. Peter with Robert Sangster, the numerically most powerful owner in this country, and he believes that this fellow may well train on into the best horse he's ever owned. He saw Celtic Swing for the first time galloping at Lady Harry's down in Sussex, but we see him on his first appearance on the racecourse. It was Adair, 600 miles nearly from his base in Sussex, so this was a fine performance. Look over on the rail in a white cap and a white noseband. That's Chilly Billy. He didn't have much of a run here, but he went on from this to win the Gimcrack in sensational style. So, to leave these, as Celtic Swing does, was a first performance of enormous promise. He did even better at Ascot, of course, but this was a pretty good beginning.
quite interesting, John, having gone down and had a close look at them in the paddock. I mean, if the reservations hadn't been expressed by those closest to him about the concern about the ground, you would actually say that he is a horse who looks like he'd be well suited by it. Although he's a tall horse, he's actually rather light-bodied, looks wonderfully well in his coat, seems to have a very pleasant disposition, and I'd be disappointed if he couldn't cope this afternoon. The dam certainly coped very well.
Well, the old expression that really good horses can act on any ground, it's true about the great ones, the truly greats like Millreath, who loved the soft and could act on fast ground. So let's hope that this White Blaze fellow is going to be a horse like that.
There's number 1, Anas Mirabilis, another colt with plenty of stature to him. He's a really progressive type, a son of the first season champion sire of 1993, Warning, and his most recent performance was at Newmarket. Admittedly, it wasn't an earth-shattering display, but it was a good, tough workman-like. He's with a big White Blaze like Celtic Swing. A little bit short of room, probably still a little bit lacking in experience, and at the moment not going anywhere very quickly, but up the hill really, as Willie Carson would say, grabs the ground up the hill. In fact, Willie Carson finishes second, his horse coming through against the rails. But Anas Mirabilis still a bit green, perhaps not ideally suited by the ground. Just a hint of his tail going when he was hit with a whip, but good workmanlike performance, and he'll certainly prove well suited to a mile. Michael Stout has so much to measure this horse against. He's got a strong hand with the 2-year-olds this year, particularly fillies. And John, this fella's got plenty of scope.
When Michael advises Sheikh Mohammed to supplement a horse like this, you have to prick your ears up, because they certainly wouldn't be wasting that supplement fee.
Well, from the tall to the small, but in terms of merit, so far, Don Corleone is every bit as good as Anas Mirabilis, because last time out he took a valuable event at Newmarket, the Tattersall's Houghton Sale, where you had to be sold at the Houghton Sale the year before to qualify. There was a wide range of abilities on show, but really from the moment this little colt struck the front in the dip, only one result. He runs on with plenty of zeal, packed, fluent of action, and actually Leslie and I were just saying got really small feet. I'm not sure that the ground will suit him.
Yes, the small feet syndrome doesn't necessarily work, does it, Jim? It's really more a horse's action that dictates how he acts in the ground. This is certainly a horse whose heart is out of proportion to his body. He's distinctly small, but he beat Maid for walking awfully comfortably, and she went on, of course, to win at Redcar. Well, Joyush has run twice against Eltish, once in the Royal Lodge when he had Fahal 2 lengths behind him at Ascot. There's no obvious reason why those placings should be reversed, particularly since Willie Carson just said that he hoped that Joyush would improve on that form.
It's a lovely, long, striding horse, this. One would assume that Willie Carson wouldn't be afraid to, well, he might not want to make it, but to use this horse's stamina, because he stayed on really strongly over a mile last time out when Eltish beat him a couple of lengths into third in the Royal Lodge. That was only Joyush's third race of his career. There's probably a little bit more progress in him. He's got a bandage on his near hind, but I think it's just a superficial injury that's covering. And Barry Hills is apparently very pleased with his recent progress.
And Celtic Swing is the even money favourite, opened over 5-4 on. And Anas Mirabilis is 4-1 from 9-2. Joyush 11-2 back from 5s, and Don Corleone 6-1 back from 11-2. Fahal is steady at 14-1, and Sekar Vale a 50-1 chance from 33s. Also on the 50-1 mark is Phil the Bill, and the extreme outsider, Your Imperial at 100-1. They're all quoted for the Racing Post Trophy.
So Celtic Swing, a very short price favourite for this Racing Post Trophy. It's the first time he's run on this ground, and yesterday Matt caught up with his owner Peter Saville and asked him just how he thought he'd cope with his step up in class.
It's a lot harder than the Hyperion Stakes, no question about that.
Are you worried about going up in grade like this?
I'm particularly worried about the ground because both his races so far have been on the fast side of good, and tomorrow is definitely going to be on the slow side of good, and that's the key factor with all horses is the state of the ground.
Sore splints he suffers from. How bad a problem is that?
Well, he suffered from them in the spring, which is why he didn't run until July, and he suffered from them after his race at Ayr in July. So it's basically maturity, which a lot of 2-year-olds get, and he suffered from sore shins most of the year.
Now, in that race at Ayr in July, his race called Debut, afterwards we all looked at the subsequent Gimcrack winner, Chilly Billy, who was odds on, but you weren't exactly unfancied, 5 and 4 to 1 return, 7 to 2. You must have known you had a really good one then.
Yes, I was extremely confident that he would win the race, even with Chilly Billy in the race. And on his homework, we knew this was a really special horse.
Now, watching him at Ascot, he seems to race with his head rather high, and he did wander off a straight line.
Well, as far as his head being slightly high, which I would agree with, I would put that down to 2 things. One, the ground was on the firm side of good, and I suspect that he's probably still just slightly feeling his shins. And also he's still a very immature and still a very inexperienced horse, and horses, until they really learn to race, don't know exactly what's happening when they hit the front like he did at Ascot.
His sire Damaster was beaten by Lanfranco in '84. His odds on now. Is he a horse to bet the odds on? You're a big punter. Would you advise punters dive in everything you've got today?
No, I would say at 6 to 4 on that he's not a good bet because of the ground. If the ground was on the far side of good, I would think that even at 6 to 4 on, he would be a good bet, and I would have been extremely confident.
Talking of bets, you've got 250 to 1 with Victor Chandler for the Vodafone Derby. How much have you had on? Is it going to bust Victor?
I think that's a matter between Victor and I.
Well, Peter Saville giving the warning signs there about betting odds on in the soft ground Celtic Swing. It's now even money, and even £5,000 has just gone in. But really good support against it for Annus Mirabilis, who's 4 to 1, very tight. Many bookmakers saying 7 to 2, Annus Mirabilis. 11 to 2 now, Joyous, 6 to 1, Celtic Swing, and 14 to 1 for Hal, with 50 to 1 bar those. But 11 favourites and 31 runnings have won it. No trainer with a horse in the race has ever won it. Willie Carson is the only jockey in the race to have won it. He's won it 3 times. Hamdan Al Maktoum, the only owner to win it. He's got 2 runners here. Even money. Would you, with all the hype, still go and bet an even £5 Celtic Swing?
The other one of Sheikh Hamdan's in the black cap is Fahal, who, as I told you, finished 2 lengths behind Joyush in the Royal Lodge. That was the second time he'd been against Eltish, who Eltish, of course, was 3rd to Pennycamp in the Dewhurst, so it all connects up the top 2-year-old form.
There's number 9, bright chestnut colt called Secca Vale, who looks really well. Bit of a bouncy character, although that said, a little more settled than he was at Ayr, when he was desperately green prior to making a winning debut. He has the colouring of his sire El Mamul. I'm sure a lot of you will remember that, but at the same time, he's totally different build. El Mamul was a wiry, athletic horse. I'm not saying this one isn't athletic, but he's very strong and long. Jack Hansen, who had the misfortune to lose a horse trained by Chris Thornton in the last race, and what bad luck Chris Thornton's had, having lost a good hurdler the week before at Cheltenham, is hopeful that this fellow will go well and give him a big run. He's as good as anything else he's got at home. That includes the 3-year-old.
The Irish have a candidate, of course, number 6, Fill the Bill. He won a maiden race at Tipperary and then ran pretty well in the Judd Monty Beresford at the Curragh in his last run. John J. McLaughlin trains him in Ireland, and Niall McCullough rides Fill the Bill, a colt by Bob Back.
Got really stirred up, this colt, John. He's, again, a totally different type to 1 or 2 of the others. He's what we call short-backed. Well, that means his front legs and his back legs are quite close together. That doesn't mean anything. It's just means he's a different shape. He's pretty useful and tough, and he does handle testing conditions, so he'll stay all right. Let's have a full show from JT.
Celtic Swing, the 11 to 10 on favourite. Annus Mirabilis, 9 to 2 from 4 to 1. And Josh is 13 to 2 from 6s. Don Corleone, 13 to 2 as well. Fahal steady at 14 to 1. Secca Vale on 50s, and Fill the Bill also a 50 to 1 chance. Euro Imperial 100 to 1, all quoted.
Well, no doubt in my mind that Anis Mirabilis has improved dramatically since I saw him run last time, and there's money for him down in the ring. But it's easy to back Celtic Swing, but the eye catcher from those who were looking at the paddock, while Seckervale caught their eye, and on the way to post it was Barry Hill's runner, Joyish.
They've taken the even money at last, Celtic Swing. The officers have come in for it. Tips on 11 to 10 on now. Celtic Swing 9 to 2. Anis Mirabilis back to 4 to 1. 13 to 2. Bar 2.
One thing that's been clear of these preliminaries is the marvellous temperament of Celtic Swing. He's walked around there like an old hunter, and that's not going to beat him. Will the ground.
His opponents have 2 or 3 of these of distinctly useful standard and improving too. This has got to be a good horse to win in reasonable style. Let's hope very much that he is, because as far as the standard of 2-year-old racing goes this season, we haven't got too many stars to look forward to. Okay, Celtic Swing's been hyped, but his owner and trainer are justifiably popular, and deservedly so. It would be lovely if we could have another good one to dream about during the winter. Here's Graham.
Fill the bill, just filling the stall now, waiting on Don Corleone, who moved well to post, as well as Joyish, and Fahal wearing a black cap. Early pace in the race could well come from Joyish, who takes a keen hold in his races, and Fill the Bill can also front run, waiting on Fahal to be loaded in, sweated up a little bit down at the start. Seckervale a 33 to 1 chance from 50s, so sneaking each way chances for that, and big prices each way, of course, with a very warm order in the unbeaten Celtic Swing, the damaged horse, who's very short order indeed for this Group 1 Racing Post Trophy. Bred by Norfolk, they race away. And Willie Carson's trying to take Joyish back through the field, and racing fast is Fahal, the black cap. Joyish on the right, Fill the Bill on the outside, Seckervale, Anis Mirabilis on the outer, and they're coming through the first furlong, and it's Fahal in the lead. Fahal really going on by about a length to Celtic Swing, then Joyish runs a rail at 35 miles an hour, 36 miles an hour and climbing, Anis Mirabilis and Seckervale behind these, and they're topping the 40-mile-an-hour mark now. Fill the Bill's off the pace, and so too is Don Corleone, and Your Imperial simply outclassed. They come down towards the halfway stage, and it's Fahal by about a half a length. They're swinging along in second place and really moving well at racing pace is Celtic Swing. Stripe cap the rail, Joyish. The horse with the big white face, Anis Mirabilis. Don Corleone punches along on the outside. Seckervale and Fill the Bill behind these. But Celtic Swing travelling powerfully as they come down to the 3-furlong market and edging into the lead, going smoothly into the lead now and going quickly to clear. The even money favourite Celtic Swing has gone clear by 3 to Anis Mirabilis in second, and he's making the other horses look very one-paced indeed. Celtic Swing with a quarter of a mile to go. It's 5-6 clear of Anis Mirabilis, who's no slouch. Joyish is flat to the board. Don Corleone has won big races, absolutely annihilated by Celtic Swing. Clear by 8 with a furlong to go. Keeping up the work. He's going clear by 10. This is a good horse. Celtic Swing clear by 12. He's not stopping. The crowd are roaring home. Celtic Swing takes the Racing Post Trophy. This is impressive. Celtic Swing it is. Anis Mirabilis is second. Joyish is third. 15 lengths between the third and the fourth on Corleone. 6 back to Fill the Bill. 5 back to Fahal. 4 back to Seckervale. And 25 lengths back to Your Imperial. So even money. Celtic Swing in the colours of Mr. Peter Saville has annihilated the class field. He had the time performance at Ascot. He's got the Group 1 form now. He's won on firm, he's won on soft. Hail a good horse. And look at this horse go, Celtic Swing under Kevin Darley, who this horse beat 5 previous winners when he ran at when he won at Ascot, and this is a very, very smooth performance, because the further he's gone, the further this horse, bred by Lavinia Duchess of Norfolk, trained at Littlehampton by Lady Harris, the further he's gone, the more impressive he is.
What a truly lovely sight, a wonderful sight for British racing. A horse living up to every ounce of the superlatives which have been showered on him.
Well, I timed his winning gap between the first and second horse. Admittedly, it might not be as accurate as old Phil Bull would have liked, but it's at first guess it was 2.48 seconds. How does that translate to you at home? Well, I would say in the region of 15 lengths, give or take a length either way. Good to see Kevin Darley push him out. The horse had a hard race. He was tired at the end, but it was his sprint free from home, his change of pace, that really left them clutching at straws, trying to keep up with him. What a fine performance.
I remember Noblesse, I regret to say, it was an awful long time ago, winning, I think, by a comparable distance. I rather think she won by 20 lengths, but let's hear the welcome. An understandably delighted Peter Saville, who's just got engaged, and what a wonderful way to celebrate that engagement. Mr. Saville, of course, has for the last 7-8 years been the most successful single owner in the North. Well, now he's the most successful owner in England.
And we've clocked the time unofficially at 1 minute 40 seconds. Kevin Darley takes the plaudits from owner Peter Saville and trainer Lady Herries. Well done to them all.
And the plaudits came from the crowd from 2 furlongs out when they could see on the huge Diamond Vision screen just how impressive Celtic Swing was, and returned the even money favourite, and a colossal return that was. The rails bookmakers, the biggest bookmakers, were going odds on, but enough boards were going evens for that to be the return. The runner-up, Annus Mirabilis, a 4-to-1 chance. Joyous is third at 13-2, and this is the 12th favourite in 34 runnings to win it, the 5th in the last 6 years. And you're talking about long winning distances in this race. Well, Vaguely Noble beat Dune by 7 lengths in 67. Armiger beat Ivanka by 6 lengths 2 years ago, and Reference Point in 86 was an official 5-length winner, though it was longer. Were any of them as impressive as this? Celtic Swing, and what a return! Levels you devils! Even money.
I very much hope that Lady Herries, you see there, the trainer Lady Herries, I very much hope that Lady Herries' mother, the Duchess of Norfolk, will be well enough to watch this triumph on television. Sadly, the Duchess is not well enough to go racing much these days, and that is the only reason why Celtic Swing was sold.
Okay. Cool. Wonderful, isn't it? That isn't more exciting than being married. Oh, sorry, I didn't realise that you were over here now. I just said it's more exciting than getting married, because Peter's getting married soon, but amazing performance.
Well, I wouldn't know yet. That was unbelievable, yeah. It's a big relief.
I mean, it's a lot of pressure building up to this, because you must have thought in your own mind, well, you know, is he going to be good enough? I mean, you couldn't have expected to have been so impressive, surely.
Well, we thought that he was a really special horse, but the ground was a real worry, you know, because he hasn't been on it, and you don't know until they go on it whether they really will go on it.
And where did he come from? I mean, you've owned stacks of horses. You had 50th winner up yesterday,
yeah.
But I mean, a long way the best one you've got.
I would say so, yeah.
But where's he come from? Who bought him for you?
Lavinia, Duchess of Norfolk, bred him, and I bought him from her earlier in the season.
And what's the plan now? Will he run in the Guineas?
I think you'd have to say he probably will.
I mean, Lady Harris will get a word from her in a minute. I mean, sure, the thing about him is he looks like he can only go on improving.
Yes, well, as you can see, he's still unfurnished, and he can only improve.
And, you know, I mean, you've got the Guineas, you've got the Derby, plenty to look forward to with him. He's had his problems with sore shins.
He obviously wasn't feeling them today.
I was just going to say, you know, we've got Big Mac here. Come on in.
Please, congratulations, terrific. 12 lengths, Vaguely Noble won by 7 lengths. That's the longest distance in the race. 6 lengths was Armiger, 5 lengths Reference Point. You win by 12.
I think there was somebody earlier in the week who said he won't be my best horse until he wins a major race by 30 lengths, because Daring Rose did. I don't know quite where that argument comes from.
Daring Rose, that was one of yours, great one.
That was a long time ago.
But you were worried about the soft ground, weren't you? And you clearly...
Yeah,
and the punters, even money. How much do you have on it? Come on, tell us the truth.
No.
You must have backed him with City Index for the distance, because Kevin still gave him a couple of backhands.
Well, I did say to Kevin that if he was going clear. That he should ride him out, because it would be very nice to have him as a champion 2-year-old, and hopefully he will be.
Well, certainly no doubt about that.
And they're shouting about your 250 to 1 for the Vodafone Derby.
Yes, I think Victor would like to bite back from you right now.
Congratulations.
Right, from the stalls, just for a first half furlong, I wasn't too sure how quickly they were going, but if you think back to afterwards, and let's remember that the horse that wins the race is much better than the others, the ones that raced up with him paid the penalty most and dropped right out. Richard Hills, quite rightly, given the way Silverhawk's son Fahal has been running in previous races, shown no stamina worries, goes on to make sure that if there's a chink in Celtic Swing's armour, and we don't know, it could be stamina, it's going to be tested. On his outside, Annus Mirabilis, of Celtic Swing's outside, on his inside, nudging up is Secca Vale, and on Secca Vale's inside is Joyous and Willie Castle.
It's easy to say now, but his action from the first showed that he was pretty happy.
Well, I must be honest, John, watching this horse here, I'd be more worried about him running in the Derby on really firm ground, because you watch Kevin Darley grab this horse, and he really hits the ground hard. And Kevin, at the moment, has joined John Francome.
Well, at this stage, Kevin, you know, just got a nice lead from Farrell, but always going well underneath you?
He was, but he's a funny sort of horse, Johnny. When I've let him go, even there, you feel him sort of stretch and lengthen and find that couple of lengths. But he gets so far, and he's such a flowing action on him that he's really going nowhere. Oh. And I mean, you'll see from here on, he's just looking about a little bit. I mean, if something had been with him, it would have helped, obviously, to keep him company. He's just sort of wandering about a little bit there because he wants something to race with.
And there was talk earlier about the ground being a problem to him. At what stage in this race did you think, God, this horse is handling this no problem?
When I looked round when I went past the winning post.
But did you think he was, I mean, because very often, even just by the time you got down to the start, you think, well, this horse will go in it. Were you quite confident at that stage?
He was quite happy on it sort of going down, and early on in the race he was travelling good, but even at Ascot on the quicker ground, the last 2 furlongs, like I say, he's such an enormous stride on him, he covers such a lot of ground, that he feels like you're going nowhere, literally floats.
And you're a good judge, is he the best you've ridden?
Definitely.
And Jim McGraw's just been talking in my ear, said it might be a problem if it was really firm ground at Epsom. But God, he's gone on the firm ground so far.
A good horse, he's gone on anything, supposedly, John, but, I mean, for me, good ground and maybe the easy side of ground would be ideal for him at this stage because he's still a little bit of weakness in him, you know.
Well, he's done it. He's gone on anything and lots to look forward to.
Yes.
Well done.
Thank you.
Well, Kevin Darley completed a 14 to 1 double there with number 2, Celtic Swing, the even money favourite. The second was number 1, Annus Mirabilis, 4 to 1. And third, number 8, Joyous at 13 to 2. The tape pay 180 for the win. The places 120, 130 and 170. The dual forecast £2.70 and the CSF 4.93. Non-runner 7 and 8 ran.
So amazingly happy scenes round here and sort of thought of as a northerner, if you like, Peter Saville, and we'll be getting more reaction to that amazing win by Celtic Swing after the break.
Tropical Places are specialists for exotic holidays at affordable prices in beautiful locations. Turn to Teletext page 333 now for latest details.
Clerics and medics, surveyors and lawyers, airline pilots, policewomen, stuntmen. Since 1824, we've looked after the investment, pension and life assurance needs of all kinds of professional people. Who are we? Clerical medical, of course. The choice of the professional.
There's never been a card quite like the Shell Smart Card. It lets you pick up gifts from Shell service stations and save for items from our catalogue, including tapes and CDs. You can also donate money to charities, get UCI cinema tickets, or even collect air miles. Ask at your local Shell service station. Get smart, get the card.
If you don't talk to your child about solvent abuse, someone else will. Phone 0800 555 777 for a parent's guide. If you're about to buy a mobile phone, the way to avoid slipping up is to go to People's Phone and check out which of our 12 tariffs is cheapest for you. People's Phone, where talk is cheaper. For your nearest shop, call 0345 10 11 12. I need to communicate. I need NEC.
If you're a cold sore sufferer, you'll recognize the tingle that signals another embarrassing and painful cold sore is on the way. But now the tingle is your signal to use a breakthrough treatment for cold sores, Zavirex Cold Sore Cream. Now treating the tingle with Zavirex Cold Sore Cream means your cold sore may never appear. Zavirex Cold Sore Cream, available only from pharmacies.
Ford, the people who were first to make anti-lock brakes standard on a car, and the first to build a driver's airbag into every car they make, have done it again. All new Ford cars now come with a mobile phone.
Hello?
Hi, it's me. It's okay. Managed to get a lift.
With free connection and cellnet line rental of less than £10 a month, you can stay in touch however far you go. Fords with phones, because you never know.
Well, ladies and gentlemen, we've seen a very, very impressive performance by Celtic Swing to win the Racing Post Trophy, the final Group 1 race of the season. Now, sponsored for the 6th year by the Racing Post, this prestigious race for 2-year-olds has proved an informative guide to the following season's major races. And Celtic Swing is now quoted as 6-1 to win the 1995 Derby by a leading firm of bookmakers, and 5-2 to win the 2000 Guineas. Now, the presentations will now be made by Mr. Bruff Scott, the editorial director of the Racing Post, and the recipient of the specially commissioned trophy for the winning owner is the winning owner himself, Peter Saville. Many congratulations, well done. And there's a trophy for the winning trader. Step forward, please, Lady Harris. Well done. Many congratulations to you. And last but by no means least, he's ridden his first Group 1 winner in this country, Kevin Darley. Well done, Kevin.
And a result for Newbury, the 330, won by number 15, Wardara, 10-1. Second, number 9, Gone Professional, 16-1. Third, number 10, Sumi, at 10-1. And the fourth horse, number 11, Make Time, 2-1 favourite. Non-runners were numbers 5 and 12, and 16 ran. And at Worcester, the 340 went to number 13, Imard, 12-1. Second, number 2, Lie Detector, 6-4 joint favourite. And third, number 1, Errant Knight, the other 6-4 joint favourite, 15 rounds. Huntingdon, the 345, 1, Stay Awake, 15-8 favourite. 3, Minds and Ace, 7-2. And 5, Terrible Gel, 9-1, 7 rounds.
The lady who's had all the worries over the last few months, Lady Harris, trainer of Celtic Swing. I mean, has he impressed you more than you ever imagined this afternoon?
Yep. Michael Stout said his horse was 18 pounds better than the horse we beat at Ascot. And we beat that 8 lengths, and we've beaten this one 12 lengths, so...
Almost embarrassing. At what stage did you think, when did you say to Peter this is something special?
Never. Never. I mean, he's always done his work. He's such a laid-back horse, and he's always done what we asked him. And the only thing, we just had to keep finding faster and faster horses to work him with. And he still, when Bob, his lad, gave him the office, he'd just go and gone. So we've never actually tried him with anything, or my gallop, you know, it's not a very good gallop, but, you know, it's very uphill.
And your mother, the Duchess of Norfolk, bred this horse, but it was Kevin who sort of spotted him for Peter, didn't he?
Yeah.
Is that the story?
Kevin was riding another horse of Peter's, and they came up together doing just a bowl canter. And Kevin just said, that is the most impressive yearling I've seen all spring. And Peter started negotiations, and because we've decided we ought to sell the colts, and my mother's not very well, we sold him 2 colts, our only 2 colts. Opaline was the other. He won a maiden at Sandown, and sadly he died of colic. So it's the swings and roundabouts, and this horse has turned out very good.
I mean, all you've got to do now is really keep your fingers crossed. Any problems that you can see for next year?
The only problem we've ever had with him was sore shins, and hopefully those are behind him now. But he's got to mature. I mean, he's only still a weak baby, really.
Well,
it's very exciting.
No doubt he's lived up to your dream.
He has.
Yes.
Absolutely.
Very, very well done.
Great, thank you.
So, a very happy lady, Harris, and quite justifiably so. We've still got 2 more races to come here from Doncaster. May have seen the star, but there's plenty more money left in the pot. Join us after the break.
Is this driver getting the service he should expect from his comprehensive insurance? Last year, he was in a crash. We asked 20 leading insurance organizations these questions. Would they make sure he was brought home safely? Would they tow his car to an approved garage which guarantees repairs? Would they provide him with a courtesy car during the repairs? 19 of the 20 said their comprehensive insurance doesn't provide all this. Call your insurance organization. Ask the questions we did. Then call AA Insurance.
We want to be saving the pennies.
I want to be splashing out on smoked salmon and champagne.
We want to be tightening those purse strings.
I want to be wined and dined in Paris or Rome.
We might want to be decorating the spare bedroom.
I want to be painting the town.
With a new Prudence long-term savings account, you can vary the amount you save each month, or even take a break, should you unexpectedly need to.
We want to be having a baby.
Be what you want to be, with the flexibility of a Prudent savings account.
The new Compact Presario is a home computer that has everything you need to run your own business, including a built-in answer phone and fax. It also comes with CD-ROM to bring interactive learning to your children and multimedia entertainment to you. The new Presario from Compact.
It's all worked out beautifully with the new lagoon.
How are you,
Hi,
sir? Nice
I'm
to see you. looking How
for
are
a
you?
new
New
car, like
new
my
car,
old car, but with a little
more
more
room.
Yes.
More economy. Lower emissions.
No problem. Right.
He wants a new car, like his old car, only better.
Better.
Do you work out? Huh?
Texaco's new Clean System 3 is designed to clean more thoroughly than ever before. It gets to work from the first tank full.
Like your old car, but better.
Hey, what are you trying to pull?
Just take her for a test drive.
Use it regularly, and given time, you could feel you're in a different car.
I'll take it. In avocado.
New Clean System 3 from Texaco. Test drive it today.
At Halfords, there's £5 off a stop lock too. And Castrol GTX is only £6.99. This trolley jack is down £6. There's a £2 saving on Haynes manuals. And 20% off all Curver toolboxes and stack-on storage systems. Reserve your Christmas bike now for only £15. Get £3 off Halford cycle light sets. So make sure you switch on to Halfords.
Well, still a real buzz round here from that Racing Post trophy. And I spoke to some of the beaten horses' connections straight after the race. Fourth horse Don Corleone, trainer Roger Charlton was absolutely delighted to be fourth in a Group 1 with the horse. And jockey David Harrison thought it was the ground that actually caught up with him. He definitely preferred better ground. Third horse Juyush, Barry Hills, again very well chuffed to be third, and just said, didn't we come up against a very good horse? And those sentiments were echoed by Michael Stout, trainer of Annus Mirabilis. His jockey, Frankie Dettori, got off and said, well, I've only been riding 8 years, but that's the best I've seen. So that should keep Peter Saville happy over the next few months.
Well, the crowd are absolutely humming and buzzing here. They're asking, is Celtic Swing a freak? Is he the kind of horse you only see once in a generation? Well, he's going to go into winter quarters, the shortest price 2,000 guineas favourite since Appalachia in 1973. Just one warning sign. Appalachia started 9-4 on, was beaten into third place behind Nono Alco. Only High Top has won the Racing Post Trophy and the Madigan's 2,000 guineas. But listen to the prices. 5-2, that's the best price with Ladbrokes. 9-4 with Corals, and Bottle 2-1 with Hills. As for the Vodafone Derbies, the shortest price favourites is Reference Point in 86, and Reference Point won the Derby at 7-4 favourite a year later, of course, and he's 6-1. That's the best price with Ladbrokes. He's 7-2 with Hills and 5-1 with Coral. So if you want to back Celtic Swing, Ladbrokes are the best prices. 5-2 the 2,000, 6-1 in the Derby. Special odds for him to win both races, so-called bookmakers special odds, of course, 10-1. You can't couple them up and double them as a normal double for the prices. 10-1 with Corals and with Ladbrokes for the Guineas and Derby double. Just 5-1 for the double with William Hill. And I just must bring in the greatest jockey, come here quickly. I'm going away now, and I'll be away for a few weeks. One big question. I heard you say the other day 3 great lady trainers, Lady Herries, Jenny Pittman, Linda Ramsden. You said they were the good, the bad and the ugly. I didn't know who you meant was which. Just tell us quickly.
Nobody's brave enough to tell who's which.
The cuddly one, Jenny Pittman. She's not one of those, is she? Good, I think. What a great horse, though, wasn't he?
Brilliant.
Brilliant horse. Great to be here.
Well, this is an interesting pedigree. You heard Lady Herries, I hope you heard Lady Herries tell John Francome that, of course, her mother bred this horse, and it's from a family that has served the Norfolk so well. Celtic Ring, the dam, won for John Dunlop twice, over 1.25 miles and 1.5 miles, both on very soft ground. And John, you've been mugging up on Damister.
Yes, he was a wonderfully consistent horse. He won the Great Voltigeur and the Mecca Dante and the Guardian Trial, but he was placed in several classics, third in the English Derby, third in the Irish Derby, and then placed also in 2 classic races in America, the Belmont Turf Classic and the Matchmaker International. So he stands as the Wood Ditton stud, and he's sired the winners of 254 races. He's no mean sire.
But you'd say, John, there's every possibility, given that he's out of a 1.5 mile winner, that this horse, given his prodigious ability, if he makes normal progress, and they don't always, sometimes they make more, sometimes they make less, but at this stage, there's every chance he'll have no problems with the Derby distance.
So that's it as far as Group 1 competitions for this season over here. But in France, they've got 2 or 3 Group 1 races left. And Moonax and Katanga run tomorrow in the Prix Royal Oak. And they also had a brilliant race last Sunday over at Longchamp for the 7 furlong Group 1 race, Prix de Forêt. 12 runners, 7 from England, 1 from Ireland. Ski Paradise, Thierry Jarnet. Big Stone, one of the best milers in Europe. Wizard King, winner of the Britannia Handicap, George Duffield. Missed Flights, who won at the Arc weekend, Pat Edery. Lemon Souffle, Younger and Las Meninos, the Guinness winner, a 39-1 shot. Let's have a look what happened.
And they just passed the halfway stage, and Never Naif leads. The light green jacket on the outside, Wizard King is racing in second spot. Running the rail third, Lavinia Fontana. The horse with the noseband is Big Stone. On the outside of Big Stone races Unblessed in blue, then Ridgewood Bend. Lemon Souffle starts to run in the red jacket on the outside of the pack, and they're homeward bound now. Just a quarter of a mile to go, and Never Naif with the edge to Wizard King the outside, Lavinia Fontana. Big Stone's travelling well, and the light green cap, Young Earn, starts to come with a run, then comes Unblessed. Off the pace, Miss Flight starts to get going. The Grey Ski Paradise covered up in between horses, but they've got just under a furlong to go now. And Never Naif is going free clear of Big Stone. Here comes Young Earn, Miss Flight with a big run on the wide outside, but Never Naif still has the edge from Big Stone. Miss Flight and Young Earn, Lavinia Fontana getting no room at all next to the rails, but Big Stone comes to press Never Naif as they race up towards the line. Big Stone's going to take it. Big Stone just from Miss Flight.
So tremendous finish to that race, but let's get on with our next bit of live action. It's the Doncaster Stakes. Ought to be a little bit of an anti-climax after the Racing Post Trophy, but there's 2 or 3 really useful looking 2-year-olds in this contest. They've got 6 furlongs to go. Let's get a list from Graham.
Yes, time to pause and reflect with Celtic Swing. A breathtaking performance. But Statham in this Doncaster Stakes listed race is drawn 1-8 to 1 Philip Robinson. Barheath is 6 to 1 with Richard Hills from 3. From 6 Belfry, 9 to 1 Kevin Darley. From 4 Great Bear, 12 to 1 partner by Tim Sprake. Leap for Joy is ridden by Frankie Dettori, the 13 to 2 chance from stall 2. From 8 Overbrook is 7 to 2 with the mount of Paul Edery. From 7 the Improving Painting Madam, a 2 to 1 favourite with Brent Thompson. And the 50 to 1 outsider is Zaliba, partnered by Brett Doyle, and they're from stall 5. That's the 8-runner lineup for the Doncaster Stakes.
I imagine that Painted Madam will be the favourite here. She's had a busy season. This is her 10th race, and as you can see, she is sweating up. She does sometimes sweat in the past. Jim, that's right, isn't it?
Yes, she's a free sweating horse, and she's 2 to 1 favourite at the minute. Mind you, John, she is in an absolute muck sweat. I said this morning that she got warm, but that's more than warm, isn't it?
Yes, she certainly is sweating to an undiscouraging degree, but let's look at her last race.
Well, this is her penultimate race because she won at Catterick last week, but 2 weeks ago she was second at York, a really game and gallant second too, with another of today's field, Great Bear, well behind her. She was always handy, handled the sticky conditions really well, but just failed to stave off the repeated and determined challenge of Sumo Quinn, fighting back bravely at the line. She had little more than an exercise canter. Actually, just look at that picture of her now closely if you've got a colour set, because she's in a lather there too. Beaten by inches. Seems hard sometimes when one has to lose one by so narrow a margin.
And that was a really fine performance when you remember how good Sumo Quinn's been this season. But let's look at Barheath, a colt by the American stallion Topsider, and he's got a 100% record so far. His only race was a maiden at Newcastle, and he won it only just by a head from Hotspur Street. Had a tremendous battle with that horse over the last furlong, showed a good deal of courage and determination in his first race.
Quite a well-bred colt, this. He's related to a good miler Tom Jones trained called Zahid.
Overbrook would have to be considered. She's a filly by Stormcat who trained, Ian Balding trains her, and her last run was in the Cornwallis Stakes at Ascot. Unless that flatters her, she was beaten 4 lengths by Millstream, but unless that form flatters her, she's certainly got a chance here.
If you're watching the 3 jockeys that just went round together, they're all sort of heckling away at Kevin. Kevin talking to Paul Edery. Frankie Dettori's just behind the pair of them, nattering away, and doubtless exchanging views. There's Leap for Joy, a daughter of Sharpo, trained by John Gosden, Frankie Dettori's mount. As a daughter of Sharpo, you'd think that she's near guaranteed to go on the soft. In point of fact, she's already demonstrated an ability so to do. She's useful and progressing. Got a little bit of improving to do to actually win this and what she's achieved so far, but just said in rather a long-winded way, she's getting there steadily, and it's not beyond the realms of possibility she'll do even better still this afternoon.
The top weight Statham slightly came unstuck last time out, finished last of 5, but that was in Italy, in fact. He had won a race in Italy earlier on, a Group 3 Criterium di Roma, in fact, but his last run in Italy, as I say, was a disappointing one compared with most of his form this season, including 3 victories, has been consistently good.
Result for Newbury, the 405, won by number 7 Spectrum, the 11-8 on favourite. Second, number 4 La Contessa, 10-1, and third, number 1 Axeman at 9-2. Non-runners 5 and 6 and 5 rounds. And here's how they bet at Doncaster. Painted Madam, the 2-1 favourite, back from 9-4. Overbrook is 7-2, and Bahi steady at 6-1. Leap for Joy is 13-2 from 6s. Staton steady at 8s. Belfry 9-1 from 8s. Great Bear is 12-1 from 10s. And Zaliba's the outsider, 50-1. All quoted for the Doncaster Stakes.
Well, I must say that we were so excited about that last result. We didn't have all that long to look at these, but Bahi caught Jim's eye in the paddock. Overbrook went down well, and Statham has been attracting a lot of attention in the ring, while Painted Madam, rather surprisingly, has not.
Painted Madam has been easy in the market, but they've just taken 9-4, 2-1 Painted Madam. Office money coming from Overbrook from 4-1 to Burlington Berkeley 100-30, 6-1 against Ballyth, and Statham has been back the top weight, 10-1 into 8-1. Some each way bets for Statham.
Bahith's just delaying the start. He's out of picture at the minute. He'll come in very shortly, just backing off the stalls. Quite a powerful horse. In the background, Great Bear. The colt we showed or pointed out when Painted Madam ran so well at York, Great Bear rather didn't. He is useful though, and on his best form would have a big chance in this. It's a little bit disconcerting that he should perform so badly that day at York. They've all got warm here now, so that's less of a worry with regard to Painted Madam. Although there was some rain here this morning, it's now quite a muggy day. The big lop-eared Overbrook, also being a little bit of a madam, will be the last to go in. She's going to lose the battle, I think, about whether she goes or not. 2-1 Painted Madam, 130 Overbrook, 6-1 Bahith, 13-2 Leap for Joy. Gigi was leaping for joy over the performance of the last race winner. What will he say about this one?
He'll say that he expects to call Bahith early. That made all when it ran at Newcastle last time from stall 3. The pace should be out wide, but running the rail Overbrook jumps out well, and Painted Madam goes with them. But what seems to me to be a steady pace, no doubt the speedometer will tell us differently. It's Bahith at 34 and rising. Bahith the leader from Painted Madam, and then running the rail is Overbrook on the outside, Leap for Joy, and then behind them comes Belfry. Wide of the pack is Statham, and Great Bear is one of the back markers. But 3 line across the track early on, but Zaliba is the back marker, and those 3 are running the rail Overbrook, Painted Madam, and wide with the noseband with a striped cap Bahith. Wider still with a pink cap Leap for Joy looking for room. So too is Belfry. Great Bear getting reminders. Statham yellow coloured off the back, and Zaliba is out last. They've got just over 2 to go, and it's Bahith with Painted Madam the outside. Pink cap Leap for Joy, Frankie Dettori. Right in the yellow is Statham back to the boards now, but a furlong and a half to make up about a length and a half. And Overbrook's trying to come back to them, but Painted Madam has the edge, running the rail from Bahith in second, Leap for Joy and Overbrook, and Statham winning this ground. It's Painted Madam that's going on, and she's a very determined girl. Bahith in second place, Leap for Joy back in third. The further they go, the further Painted Madam goes clear, and Painted Madam trots in. Painted Madam it is. Painted Madam, Bahith 1-2. Leap for Joy is third, Great Bear 4, Overbrook 5. 3 lengths back to Statham, and then came Belfry and tailed off with Zaliba, who was badly outpaced from the word go. 2-1 favourite then is number 7, Painted Madam. The winner of this, the listed Doncaster Stakes, in the colours of Mr. Nigel S. Murray, trained at Lambourne by Barry Hills, and bred by Gay O'Callaghan. Well done to him. And ridden by Brent Thompson, and well done to him. He brought Inherent Magic for the last gasp first to lead on the line. He's had this common ground filly in the firing line virtually throughout, and despite sweating badly before the start, well, she certainly deserved this listed race. She's run some very creditable performances indeed. A very easy win at Catwick last time would have boosted the confidence, and she's come home. Here's picked to the line. The 2-1 favourite of this, the Doncaster Stakes.
Well, ladies glow, gentlemen perspire, and horses sweat, but we shouldn't hold it against them necessarily. because it certainly hasn't stopped Painted Madam. She has slid up this course in the greatest style, just as determined as she was when Sue McQuinn beat her last time. She has a long battle with Barheath in the white noseband. She's already disposed of Overbrook on another white noseband on her right, on her inside. And now, from here on in, she just sticks out her header. Really lovely, determined filly, isn't she?
She is, and we were reviewing her performance at York. That was a good effort there. There was a decent time. You pointed out the merits of Sumo Quinn, who shaded her that day. It's nice to see her getting her just rewards. And if you watch a replay of this race, you'll see one by one her opponents, probably because of the ground, have come off the bridle. When horses stretch, if they don't really go on it, they might go at three-quarter pace. But John, they lose their action on the ground, and gradually she goes on it really well, and the others don't.
Absolutely, you can see them struggling, and well, that really makes Celtic Swing's performance even more memorable.
Thank you, Governor.
First number 7, Painted Madam, 2-1 favourite. Second number 2, Barheath at 6-1. And third number 5, Leap for Joy at 13-2. The tape paid £2.70 for the win. The place is £1.10, £2 exactly, and £1.40. The dual forecast came to £8.40 and 8 runs.
Well, she really deserved that. If you watched her finish second at York, she really tried her heart out in the last 150 yards, and I thought maybe she'd just gone over the top, but she's kept her form well. So well done to Painted Madam. We've still got one more live race to come. Don't go away, but we're going to take a break just for a few minutes.
I'm afraid what you've got here, Gov, is a problem with the auxiliary drive belt condition. You're going to have to check for glazing or separation of the belt pipes. Drive belt tension might be a problem. There again, it won't be if you've got a tensioner. You're going to need a
The party in the first part under section 2.4, subsection 3 under paragraph 6. The first party shall, upon fulfilment of the aforementioned conditions, be entitled to exclusive enjoyment. Its privileges thereto attached, hitherto enjoyed by the... I'm so sorry, sir, to tell you this, but because of the dilation of the cranial vortex and the acute hyperemia, congestion, superficial vasculature, which has caused an edematous reaction.
At Nationwide, we like to keep money matters simple.
40 fan belt. They left you everything. Won't hurt a bit.
Building relationships with Nationwide, the building society.
Sainsbury's, where good food costs less. All beef steaks save £1.50 a pound. And less. Walker's crisps now only £1.99. And less and less.
Multivitamins for children. Multivitamins with iron. Or with cod liver oil. With minerals. With calcium. Synatogen. Because people are different, all right.
Are you busy, Henry?
Oh, no.
Here. Run Sarah home for me, will you?
Think you have the time to spend an evening with me? And if we go someplace to dance, I know that there's a chance you won't be leaving with me. And afterwards we drop into a quiet little place and have a drink or two.
What kept you?
And then I go and spoil it all by saying...
The Citroen Xantia. Discover what Citroen can do for you.
The new compact Presario is a home computer that has everything you need to run your own business, including a built-in answer phone and fax. It also comes with CD-ROM to bring interactive learning to your children and multimedia entertainment to you. The new Presario from Compact.
If you don't like my idea, blame him.
Heavy.
Well, summer seems a long way away. We've had wet weather, windy weather in the last 2 or 3 days up here, but the Doncaster executive, they've kept a bloom on the show, and certainly seen something of a star in Celtic Swing, and there's plenty of stars in action at the Breeders' Cup in 2 weeks' time. It's the biggest European contingent ever. Grand Lodge, Distant View, Barathea, Locksong, a whole host of them, and 8 race courses have had the foresight to actually take up the evening, put a Breeders' Cup evening on, if you like, and well, just a few moments' time I'll be giving you a list of those, so if you haven't got a pencil ready to take down the telephone numbers of a race course that's putting one of those evenings on near you, then you've got a few moments to go out and get one. Meanwhile, one last chance to have a go at the picture puzzle competition, see whether you think you can get the name of a horse that was due to run at one of the race courses this afternoon. Not very difficult. 0891 991144 if you think you know the name of that horse that was declared to run today.
Well, 3 favourites have gone into here today. Even Money Celtic Swing and a 14-to-1 double for Brent Thompson with Inherent Magic and Painted Madam. The bookmaker here packing in. Why are you packing in?
Right, because I'm going. We've got to go to the doctor.
Oh, it's not that you've done too much money.
No, I've done plenty, but I'm going.
I'm very glad to hear it. I'm glad these bookmakers at last doing some money, which is always very good news. You're not waving because you're not a naughty little boy. I'm going away on the holiday. They think they can do anything with me. Let's see an early prices here. And Watson Brothers going up here. They've not got Museum on the board, but they've got 5 penny a day, 6 Proton, 5 Uncle Oswald, 7 Bit on the side, 7 West Boy, and 8-to-1 Walsham. Plenty of business going on. Great queues in front of the bookmakers. They're drawing money because the punters at last are having a winning day. And just news from Newbury in the 4-5. Peter Chapel-Hyam's Unraced Spectrum, owned by Lord Weinstock, has run away and beaten some previous winners, put in now at 20-to-1 for the Vodafone Derby. He's by Rainbow Quest and is related to their winners like Sun Princess, the winner of the Oaks for Lord Weinstock. So another Derby contender seen at Newbury, but it can't have been anything like as impressive as Celtic Swing. They're saying a freak of a horse, that you only see a Celtic Swing once in a generation, and the bookmakers fed up with Celtic Swing and all these favourites.
Now, as you should all know, the clocks go back tonight, so don't forget to change yours and get your extra hour in bed. As a result of that, our coverage is going to be starting that bit earlier, and next Saturday we kick off at 1:10. And on the subject of British timing, there's a campaign underway at the moment called the Daylight Extra Campaign, which is trying to secure the introduction of double summertime. With me now is Doncaster Clerk of the course, John Sanderson, to tell us more. So, John, what exactly is double summertime?
Well, a succinct answer would be we get up an hour earlier all the year round. But no, what is double summertime? It means that in the winters we go an hour ahead of GMT, Greenwich Mean Time, instead of being on Greenwich Mean Time, which will be tomorrow morning. And in the summers we will be 2 hours ahead of Greenwich Mean Time. So we are going to be working an hour ahead of ourselves in future if this is brought in by the government.
And what will that mean in terms of extra daylight?
For racing, it means that in a nutshell we can race in the evenings for probably an extra 2 months, a month before, a month earlier than we start evening racing now, and finish a month later, which is obviously very advantageous for racing, for betting shops, for the levy, for customers, you know, for spectators. We are a spectator sport. And also, in the winter months, when we have to start racing sometimes as early as 12 noon, it means that we'll only start at 1 o'clock instead. Again, more customer friendly.
Those benefits aside, isn't it going to mean quite a long working day for jockeys, stable lads, dare I say it, trainers?
Trainers' wives. Yes, it it's obviously going to make a difference at certain times of the year. I mean, really, the extension, you're talking, I think, about the extension of evening racing. The extension of evening racing will probably be about 2 months, the month before and the month after we normally start. But it's really only those 2 months, and after all, we're in the leisure industry, and it's like Sunday racing. Some people don't want to work on Sundays, but we're in the leisure industry, we have to work when other people don't.
Talking about leisure industries, there's obviously a leisure craft behind us at the moment. There's the Maxim helicopter, having had quite a good afternoon, though I don't think a winner, but not too bad a day, and off they fly. Well, John, on double summertime now, assuming the people at home are quite happy to have these extended days, what can they do to help secure it?
Well, as always in these cases, it's a question of lobbying government, and so everybody who supports it and everybody in racing should write to their MPs. We achieve Sunday racing, I'm sure we can help the government achieve double summertime, but everyone must write their MPs. Is
there any particular deadline? Is there a waiting where it's about to come up in Parliament or so?
No, I think it's waiting for the window of opportunity for tagging it on to, you know, for an MP to come up in the ballot. So there's no time like the present. I mean, I think the pressure should be put on as quickly as possible.
Right, well, so all of us can work a bit harder, and of course we can have more racing. Let's hope it succeeds.
And the tote jackpot has been won. Now, there was £427,000 in the pool, and to a pound stake, you would win £26,479. But people with much less have won that, with lesser stakes. 4 people on the course have won £2,648, 410p. But I must tell you about one man who, with cash, and you won't wave, one man with cash bet £4,312, and he's picked up £2,643. So he staked 4,500, wins 2,500. Leslie Steele here is going 11 to 2 the field. That's Penny a Day and Proton and Uncle Oswald. Wide open handicap to end with, but nothing now can save the bookmakers here today. They've lost money. They'll never get it back today.
Right, before we move on to the last race, let's just give you those telephone numbers that I promised you just a few moments ago. These are all race courses that are showing the Breeders' Cup live on November the 5th. And just make a note of these telephone numbers. It's no good picking the telephone up at the moment because they'll obviously be unmanned. Wait until Monday morning. Ascot, Doncaster, Epsom, Goodwood, Newbury, Newmarket, Uttoxeter and Windsor. So within reason, there ought to be a race course close to you, actually broadcasting live from the Breeders' Cup on November the 5th.
Now, contrary to popular belief, it's not often that we at Channel 4 get to pat ourselves on the back, and it won't come as any surprise that this particular trophy that we've recently acquired didn't come on the basis of my tipping ability, at least. It is in fact awarded by Epona, a French organisation, and it's for the best reporting on the topic of the horse and television. Well, Channel 4 submitted its coverage of this year's derby, and we were lucky enough to come out on top of the 150 entries. With exciting finishes like this, our job is made all the easier, but poor Brough Scott faced no easy task as interviewee and recipient of the trophy at the award ceremony in France. And when Brough, with the boot on the other foot, tried to dazzle them with his command of the French language, his French counterpart obviously decided that brevity was the soul of wit, and Brough was removed from the stage fairly rapidly.
Well, good old Brough Scott, he went all the way over to France to collect that, but it was the producer, Andrew Franklin, who actually won the prize of the 9-day holiday in Sierra Leone for 2, so well done to the producer. Right, next Saturday, the jumpers get underway for us on Channel 4, and it's the start of the busiest jump season ever for us, and apart from all the regular courses which we'll be visiting, there's quite a few extra on the list, including Cheltenham, Huntingdon, Warwick, Nottingham, and also we'll be taking a visit down to Wincanton. Well, if you're a keen follower of the jumping, you'll have been aware that there was a fair turn-up at Wincanton on Thursday in the Desert Orchid Chase, and it looked as though Bosky Chieftain at one stage was going to win, but all sorts of drama there as we pick up the race. Richard Dunwoody on the left on Bosky Chieftain, then just won over his Moorbank, Chris Moore, and chasing those at that stage, Egypt Mill Prince and Warren Marston. Unfortunately, Bosky Chieftain goes lame, goes to pull up. Molebank then just tipped Chris Maud out the plate, and he was 3 foot away from Egypt Mill Prince just landing on the top of him. Really lucky escape. I'm pleased to say that he got away with nothing more than bruises. This left the race at the mercy of David Ellsworth's horse and Paul Holly. Give us a buck. Really wonderful old servant he's been, just ambled round at the back, and well, things went his way, and Jamie Osborne actually went back down the course, got on and came back for pick up third place at about £400 there as well. And give us a buck. Well, he had a nice little prep race there, and he's now off to the Hennessy. And with our eyes on the jumper, let's get some news from Huntingdon.
The SP of the 4:15, won by number 3, Ch4's Gold, 9-4 joint favourite. Second, number 7, Mountain Reach at 4-1. And third, number 2, Certain Angle, 9-4 joint favourite. And 10 round.
So that's it. That's everybody up to speed. We just got one more live race to come. See the horses walking around in the paddock. There are only 12 of them because La River Rain is a non-runner. John Hill's already on his way home in the car. 1 mile and 4 furlongs to go. Here's a list from Graham.
Gone for Burton, 8-1, Frankie Dettori, Penny a Day, 11-2 favourite, Kevin Darley. Slasher Jack, 14-1, Jason Tate claims to 3. High Flying, 12-1, Michael Talbot, and that is from stall 7, but this is a 1.5 mile race. Uncle Oswald, 13-2, is ridden by Brent Thompson, and Dormy 3, a possible front runner, ridden by Paul Ellery at 12-1. Bid on the side, 7-1, David McCabe claiming the 3. Museum, 7-1, Billy Newns. Colorado, 33-1, Brett Doyle. West Point, 7-1 with chances with Willie Carson. Horsham Whispers, Vised, normally is. Philip Robinson rides at 8-1, and Proton's a 6-1 chance, partnered by Tony Clark. The line-up for this 4:45, the Ladbroke Handicap.
So that's the full list. Frankie Dettori just about to get on. Gone for a Burton. Peter Makin's runner. Disappointing the other day when he ran, but prior to that in ground similar today, we saw him up in air and really put in a dour performance.
On the business end of the race is Carew Lark, the 3-year-old, in the Sheikh Mohammed jacket. The Flying Phantom runs the rail in second. Here comes Gone for a Burton on the outside of the pack, and that's finishing best of all. They come down to the final furlong on the outside. It's Gone for a Burton who leads. Gone for Burton, the yellow cap. The grey horse running the rail, the Flying Phantom in second place now. Carew Lark back in third, but it's Gone for a Burton holding on. The Flying Phantom tries to rally, but it's going to be Gone for a Burton who's taken this race, and Gone for a Burton wins it.
There's no question that this fellow is twice the horse, maybe 3 times the horse on soft ground. I think it's soft enough for him today, and softer the better for Gone for a Burton. Last time out he was behind Uncle Oswald, but that was on comparatively firm ground. And although he has won once on firm ground, he's far, far better in the mud, isn't he, Jimmy?
Absolutely. It was really sticky at air, and he was well ridden by the amateur who partnered him on that occasion. It's no amateur this afternoon. It's smiling, bubbly, and still in great form, Frankie Dettori.
Well, another horse in tremendous form, almost as good as Frankie Dettori, is Penny a Day. It's true that his last victory, he needed the help of the stewards to beat Bowman at Haydock. Bowman had just finished in front of him, but the stewards held that he'd just given Penny a Day a bit of a barge close home, and that was his 3rd victory of the season. This 4-year-old loves. I'm sorry, I was just about to say he loves the ground, but he can act on the ground, can't he, Jim?
Oh, it was pretty soft at Haydock, John, and the first 2 pulled a long way clear. That was undoubtedly a good run, whether he'd got the verdict or not. And Mary Reevely, I think some 14 or 15 winners in the last fortnight, so there ain't much wrong with her form either.
No, and Kevin Darley must be feeling slightly on the crest of a wave.
Looks as though make a lovely jumper, this horse. I'd be surprised if he wasn't given a chance over Timber later on. Here's another in-form character, number 5, Uncle Oswald, the mount of Brent Thompson. Colt by Nashwan, had just a total of 4 races in his life. Clearly had problems, but reappeared in October. on the 13th of October at Newmarket. He ran a sound race behind Acting Brave, going on well late on. He's yet to run on grounds as soft as this, and of course that's a chance you take if you back him. But there's probably still a bit more progress to come from this fella, and he's got a good chance on what he's done so far.
And here's how they bet. Penny a day, 11-2. Proton is 13-2 from 6-1. And Uncle Oswald is 7s from 13-2. Also on the 7-1 mark are Bit on the Side and Museum. Westbuoyant is 8-1 from 7s. And another 8-1 chance is Gone for a Burton together with Walsh and Whisper. Yormy 3 at 12-1 and 14-1 bar.
Slasher Jack's been in pretty good form this season. He's a horse, consistent horse over this distance. Didn't run very well at Chester, as a matter of fact. He probably didn't like the bends there. And last time out, he was in fact just behind High Flying, Jim, but I don't know whether we need worry about that.
John, he's a good contradiction. We always think horses with rounded actions are suited to some give. This has got a markedly round action, really bangs the ground. But the evidence to date is he's had 3 attempts throughout his career on a soft surface, and it doesn't appear to suit him. He's done all his winning on much faster ground. It just shows you can study them for hours and come up with zilch.
They end up making a fool of you.
Well, still a few minutes to go before they actually get loaded up for our final race. If you've only joined us in the last few minutes, you'd have heard that Peter Chapelhigham Spectrum is well fancied for a couple of next year's classics. Well, if you joined us too late to see the Racing Post Trophy, then you've missed something really special, because Celtic Swing, he was touted as a real classic potential for next year, and he did more than live up to his reputation.
Racing Post Trophy, bred by they race away, and Willie Carson's trying to take Joyosh back through the field, and racing fast is Farhal, the black cap. Joyosh on the right, Phil the Bill on the outside, Second Vale, Anis Mirabilis on the outer, and they're coming through the first furlong, and it's Farhal in the lead. Farhal really going on by about a length to Celtic Swing, then Joyosh runs a rail at 35 miles an hour, 36 miles an hour and climbing, and that's Mirabilis and Second Vale behind these, and they're topping the 40 mile an hour mark now. Phil the Bill's off the pace, and so too is Don Corleone, and Your Imperial simply outclassed. They come down towards the halfway stage, and it's Farhal by about a half a length. They're swinging along in second place and really moving well at racing pace is Celtic Swing. Stripe cap the rail, Joyosh. The horse with the big white face, Anis Mirabilis. Don Corleone punched along on the outside. Second Vale and Phil the Bill behind these. But Celtic Swing travelling powerfully as they come down to the 3 furlong market and edging into the lead, going smoothly into the lead now and going quickly to clear. The even money favourite Celtic Swing has gone clear by 3. Anis Mirabilis in second, and he's making the other horses look very one-paced indeed. Celtic Swing with a quarter of a mile to go. It's 5-6 clear of Anis Mirabilis, who's no Celtic. Joyosh is flat to the board. Don Corleone has won big races, absolutely annihilated by Celtic Swing. Clear by 8 with a furlong to go. Keeping up the work, he's going clear by 10. This is a good horse. Celtic Swing clear by 12. He's not stopping. The crowd are roaring home. Celtic Swing takes the Racing Post Trophy. This is impressive. Celtic Swing it is. Anis Mirabilis is second. Joyosh is third. 15 lengths between the third.
Really exciting performance that, and in the last 50 yards he seemed to pick up and go on again. Not surprisingly, his owner Peter Saville said that it wouldn't matter how much money the Arabs own or offer for him, rather, he is not for sale. So Anthony Stroud, he's at the moment, I think he's just had an operation on his knee, and hopefully recovering well. Anthony, it's no good picking up your checkbook. Right, let's have a look at the eye catchers now for our last race. Penny a Day, that was the one that caught the eye in the paddock on the way to post. Willie Carson's Mount Westbuoyant, and down in the ring, Penny a Day, money for that one, and well, Uncle Oswald, he was easy to back.
No surprise that Penny a Day has attracted some money. Here's another horse that goes well with some give in the ground. Bit on the side. She's a good mare. Generally speaking, Willie Muston's horses haven't enjoyed the best of fortune this season, but in the main, this mare has done really well. She comes from off the pace. She's got a good claimer on her back in David McCabe. and she's got a sporting chance. If you backed her, you expect to see her late on. Actually, John, Mike Dillon came into the press room at lunchtime, the Ladbrokes PRO, rubbing his hands. He said, I've got a good race, haven't I? I said, yes, I don't want to bet in it. I shouldn't think many other people do. It's too hard.
There's Proton, Tony Clark and Proton going in there. Interesting colours. These are the colours carried by the great Persian War, who was owned by Henry Alper, son of Tony Alper, whose garage is owned Proton. And he's got a serious chance too. He won his last 2 races and gets this trip really well. We don't really know about his action on soft ground, but I think he can probably act on it.
Yes, he's from a stout female line. He's from Lord and Lady Halifax's good family further back of Shirley Heights. So I think you're right about the stamina point of view. It's 1 or 2 of these. The ground's the key. We discussed gone for Burton. He goes on it all right. Here's JT with a full show.
Thank you, James. Betting a day 5-1, Proton 7-1, along with Uncle Oswald and Bid on the side. Museum and West Boy both at 8-1, together with Gone for a Burton and Walton Whisper. High Flying at 12s and 14-1 bar. And now Uncle Oswald is 15-2. Uncle Oswald 15-2.
There's West Buoyant, John Dunlop's 3-year-old. He's been a little bit in and out, won a valuable race at Newmarket in July, and in his last run at Ascot was only just beaten by Blushing Flame, but in between those two he ran disappointingly. He certainly acts on the firm. We don't really know how he'll handle this. There's Uncle Oswald going in, and I think over to you, Graham.
13-2 bid on the side from 7s at the off-point. Museum racing fast, and also Colorado and out wide Dormy 3, who front run to make all that Catterick last time. Just gets the edge to Colorado, the Black Sleeves. Blue Sleeves running the rail. Proton is 3rd, and then Museum is racing 4, and then behind that one is Slasher Jack up on the outside. High Flying and Gone for a Burton just in behind these, and then a bit on the side, Uncle Oswald. So it's Dormy 3 leading. Colorado in 2nd place, and then showing 3rd in the dark green jacket Museum at only 32 miles an hour, 33 miles an hour. It's Dormy 3, 35 now. Getting faster, isn't it? So it's Dormy 3 leading from in 2nd place, Colorado. Museum showing 3rd. Slasher Jack the outside of Proton, who's pulling hard. Then Penny a Day, well placed in the 5 spot. And then just in behind that one is High Flying, followed by Uncle Oswald, Gone for a Burton. Bit on the side is one of the back markers as they race past the mile start on the round course at the top of the picture there. Dormy 3 leading, then from Colorado and Museum, and then Proton on the rail. Then we have Slasher Jack, followed through by Penny a Day. Then comes High Flying. Behind High Flying is Bit on the side. Penny a Day, the 92 favourites, in the pink jacket with the black embellishments in about the 5 spot. Bit on the side, 6-1 chances, right on the right of the picture in the yellow. They come down then past the 6 furlong marker and start the turn in. And it's Dormy 3 leading. Dormy 3 leading by 3 parts of the length. The Colorado, the dark green jacket is Museum. Shaded at this camera angle is Slasher Jack, who's on the outside and getting closer, travelling well. Penny a Day, running the rail is Proton. Behind these, Bit on the side, Uncle Oswald, Gone for a Burton. Off the back, trying to pick up High Flying, Walsh and Whisper, but as they come down to the 3, it's still Dormy 3 that has the edge. Penny a Day is travelling well, the black and pink striped sleeve jacket going ominously well. Off the back, Bit on the side, also travelling well. Walsh and Whisper outside, the horse with the visor got a 4 lengths down off the pace, but what price Penny a Day as they come down to the 2 furlong marker. Red jacket is Dormy 3, pink and black is Penny a Day travelling well. Colorado, the black sleeve jacket on the very wide outside. West Boyant gets the shot, puts his best work forward now. Uncle Oswald with a rush, but it's Penny a Day for Kevin Darley, the man in form. He comes down to the furlong pole with a 3-length lead. Over Bit on the side in 2nd place. Walsh and Whisper stays on for paces, but it's Penny a Day for Kevin Darley, who's really having a tremendous day here at Doncaster. But Penny a Day takes it. Penny a Day it is. Bit on the side, and it's a photo third between Proton and Walsh and Whisper. These clear Colorado, Slasher Jack, Uncle Oswald, West Boyant, Museum, High Flying, Gone for a Burton. Well, an inconsistent horse he is, and Dormy 3 finished last of all. The 92 favourite has won it. Penny a Day in the colours of Mr. J. Good. This one trained at Saltburn by Mary Reevely, ridden by Kevin Darley, and what a day he has had for not only winning the first race on Best Boy made his day with Celtic Swing, and the icing very much on the cake with the improving horse Penny a Day. Second horse home was number 7, Bit on the Side, a close call for third place. Let's check the action with Proton's Head nearest to us, just getting the edge over Walsham Whisper. That's third and fourth. In this, the Ladbroke handicap. There, Proton runs the rail, Walsham Whisper down the outside, but long and remote third and fourth to Penny a Day, who's maintained the improvement. He started earlier in the season and completes a hat-trick for the informed yard of Mary Reevely, already in the money at Huntingdon this afternoon, and they're picked up again with Penny a Day.
An awful long way from home. The writing was on the wall, and the writing was in the poise of Kevin Darley's body and the fullness of his hands, or rather the motionlessness of his hands, because as you can see, Penny Day is still taking just a nice hold as they come to the two furlong marker. And the steward's inquiry, I very much hope it doesn't include Penny a Day. I can't quite see how it would. Dormy 3's made the running up till there, but now, from here on in, Penny a Day is in front, and I would have thought clear in front.
Well, I'll plat straw if it involves the winner, but they have got very tight behind, and obviously that's what we'll take a closer look at from the side on. Horses, jockeys in good form, and these lady trainers too. Lady Herries earlier in the day, Mary Reevely, Jenny Pittman earlier in the week, and I do beg your pardon. It's made me sneeze. Penny a Day.
Bless you.
Penny, thank you, John. Penny a Day squirts clear. Feel a little bit sorry for Bit on the Side because she beats the others hollow, but she's run into a really improving gelding in peak form, and obviously, from a handicapping point of view, is going to go up, finishing second.
And Penny a Day is a calamitous result for the bookmakers. The fourth favourite to go in here, return 9-2 favourite, 9-2 favourite, Penny a Day, and beats the second best Bit on the Side, the 6-1 second favourite, with it looks to be third Proton, the 7-1 third favourite, though there is a steward's inquiry probably involving the places. Walsham Whisper, the fourth horse, is returned at 9-1, and that Penny a Day, the second favourite in 7 runnings to win it, hopping around with 3-1 favourite 6 years ago. He completes an 81.5-1 treble for Kevin Darley, who won with Beskerby Boy in the first, and of course with Celtic Swing. And news on Celtic Swing, Ladbrokes are 5-2 for the Americans, 2,000 guineas, 6-1 for the Vodafone Derby. That is still available with the magic sign as I speak. He is 10-1 now to complete the Guineas Derby double, that Celtic Swing. For the bookmakers, Penny a Day, they've lost jolly sight more than a penny today after all those favourites, and this one going in from 13-2 this morning, 11-2 on the course. A disastrous day on and off course for the bookmakers at Donny.
Sometimes say good guys finish first, and here literally the goods have finished first. Haven't yet heard details of what the inquiry is about, but let's take a look at the head-on and see if we can decipher it for you. From right to left, 3 furlong marker, Dormy 3 in red colours, next to him the winner Penny a Day, next to him the weakening Boloado, in between Boloado, green colours Museum. Now he looks a little bit short of room on his outside, Slasher Jack. So let's spin on through. Further out, we've got Walsam Whisper in red blinkers. On his inside, Gone for a Burton, or her inside, I should say. Kevin Darley, as John described so graphically, yet to move his hands on Penny a Day in the pink colours. I'm looking behind as I'm talking to you all the time, switching now to the outside Uncle Oswald, but because there's no room, not because he's been hampered. General bunching, Proton in behind the winner now has moved off the rails. Oh, Walsam Whisper there, just might have squeezed up against the weakening Gone for a Burton. Also dropping out there is Museum. I think it's fair to say that so far, John, nothing serious has happened, whether it occurs now inside the final furlong after the winner has gone clear.
It's just been very, very tight, Jim, hasn't it? There was contact, certainly, but very difficult to find the particularly guilty party. They were just slightly weary horses coming slightly off a straight line. Not, I would have thought, the sort of thing which the stewards would need to take much interest in.
First, number 2, Penny a Day, 9-2 favourite. Second, number 7, Bit on the Side at 6-1. And third, number 13, Proton, 7-1. Non-runner 11 and 12 rounds. Newbury, the 435 for Rollinson's Rocks, 12 to 1. 21 Apollino at 10 to 1. 13 High Ord, 14 to 1. And 15 Lee's Please, 5 to 1. Number 1 Romeos was 9 to 2 favourite. Non-runners, numbers 2, 8 and 10, and 19 rounds. And at Worcester, the 425 went to number 7, 7 of Diamonds, 6 to 1. Second, number 4 Andermatt, 7 to 1. And third, number 5 Castle Diamond, 6 to 1. Number 6 Staunch Rival, 5 to 2 favourite, and 7 rounds.
Well, penny a day, regardless of the outcome of that steward's inquiry. He's going to be back here in 2 weeks' time for the November handicap, with a penalty if he wins, of course. And he's just got a 12 to 1 quote for that race. Mary Reilly, well, that was her 81st winner, and she's had an amazing season. She's also had a great start to the jump season. She has 19 winners already jumping. But penny a day brings our coverage to a close on an afternoon that's given us plenty to look forward to throughout the coming winter months. It's also given us plenty to look back on in our review of the day. Later on now, Peter Savile's Celtic Swing absolutely galloped his way into Derby favouritism.
Just over a furlong to go, and it's Besky Boy under Kevin Dardy going into the lead by a neck by a half. Kalu's back in second place. Greek Gold's run has come to an abrupt halt. They're inside the final furlong, and it's Besky Boy having his second one of the week, striding on in great style, and the old boy's going to take it all right, coming up towards the line. Besky Boy takes it. Besky Boy is our winner. Kalu is second. It's going to be close for third, but Sunday News and Echo takes third. They've got just over a furlong to go. It's BEGGARMAN team, pressed by Mertasher on the outside. They come down to the furlong marker now, and it's Mertasher and BEGGARMAN team, 2 back to Storris, back in third and 1 pace, and it's Mertasher opening up now by 3 lengths as they race up towards the line. Mertasher striding right away with this, and Mertasher's going to take it at the line. Willie Carlson, Mertasher the winner. And running the rail, the blue cap, Lord High Admiral, takes the length out of the pack with another episode. GORINSKY's finishing, so too is Ashton and Inherent Magic, but they're inside the final furlong. And it's Lord High Admiral that still has the edge. Inherent Magic and GORINSKY flying fast. Also with a run, St. Express, up towards the line. Lord High Admiral, Inherent Magic on the line. But it's Fame Again that strikes the front as they come down to the final furlong with the noseband. It's Fame Again and Kimo Sabo to Ramsden, 1-2 on the cards here, clear from Qualitaire Pride as they race up towards the line. And it's Fame Again running the rail by a length and a half to Kimo Sabo at the line. Fame Again. And Overbrook's trying to come back to them, but Painted Madam has the edge, running the rail from Bahit in second lead for Joy and Overbrook and Statterman in this crowd. It's Painted Madam that's going on, and she's a very determined girl. Bahit in second place, lead for Joy, back in third. The further they go, the further Painted Madam goes clear, and Painted Madam drops in. Painted Madam it is, Painted Madam, Bahit 1-2.
And the prices about today's winners at Doncaster. The 140 won by number 9, Besky Boy at 13 to 2. The 210 by number 6, Muratasha, 5 to 1 co-favourite. The 240 by number 7, Inherent Magic, 4 to 1 favourite. And the 310 went to number 10, Fame Again at 12 to 1. The 340 was won by number 2, Celtic Swing, even money favourite. The 415 by number 7, Painted Madam, 2 to 1 favourite. And the 445 by number 2, Penny a Day, 9 to 2 favourite.
So steward's inquiry still going on into that last race, and once the winner is announced, if you've got 75 points or more, contact us on 071 757 7010 between 5 o'clock today and midday tomorrow. That's if you've got 75 points or more once we know the outcome of that last race. Let's have a look at those who won last Saturday's champion tipster competition. Remember, £500 first prize goes to the winner. That was Michael Grogan from Trinity Road, Darlington in County Durham.
And today's winners at Newbury, the 120 won by number 8, Second Charles, 25 to 1. The 150 by number 6, Circa, 33 to 1. The 220 went to number 5, Persian Brave at 7 to 1. And the 3 o'clock to number 9, Major Bugler, 20 to 1. The 330 was won by number 15, Wardara at 10 to 1. The 405 by number 7, Spectrum, 11 to 8 on favourite. And the 435 by number 4, Rollinson's Rocks at 12 to 1.
Now, who's won the star prize on the picture puzzle? Who's going to be a racehorse owner 2 weeks' time here in the first race at Doncaster? There we go. You must have got that. Indian Light, sadly declared this morning, and then a non-runner, which must have given you an extra clue. And the lucky winner of the star prize is Mr. J. Williams from Coniston Road in Patchway, Bristol. Well done to him. He can enjoy the joys of ownership plus £100. And the two other runners-up who get their £100 are N. Vinicum from Gornal Wood, Dudley, West Midlands, and J. Crosby from Hall Park, Kendal, Cumbria. Very well done to them.
Well, busy afternoon for us. Next Saturday we've got 5 races from Wetherby. We've also got 4 live races coming from Newmarket. Let's just have a look, see what we've got for you. You've got the Ascot Appliances Zetland Stakes. They're sponsoring most of the afternoon. Ascot, it's their first time into sponsorship. And also the Ladbroke Autumn Handicap at 3:20. Up at Wetherby, of course, 5 live races, but the main one is that Charlie Hall pattern race. Jim McGrath's Too Good to Be True runs. Atterdale, who was impressive at Pontefract just earlier in the week. Avro Anson, and also Young Hustler going that. So lots to look forward to, but we've had a really amazing afternoon here at Doncaster, seen what I think looks a real superstar in the form of Celtic Swing. Absolutely galloped his rivals ragged and easily eased his way into favouritism for next year's derby. From all of us here at Doncaster, bye-bye.
With a furlong to go, keeping up the work, he's going clear by 10, which is a good horse. Celtic Swing clear by 12, he's not stopping, the crowd are roaring herd. Celtic Swing takes the Racing Post trophy, this is impressive. Celtic Swing it is, and it's Mirabelik in second.
The November issue of Inside Racing is out now in newsagents priced at $2.25.
24 hours can be a long time in politics. John Smith's sudden death left a
world far from reality.
You're a gaffer. You live on the edge. You